We're back!
As time goes forward, our gaming anticipation, knowledge and experience gets higher and even further. As the next-gen consoles are here, but not in all hands, now is the perfect time to be a gamer. Here we are discussing the Outriders demo announced for PS5, PC and Xbox Series X and extra details announced by its respective studio, and we are taking a look at potential tease at Elden Ring arriving soon, Mortal Shell release for the PlayStation 5 and finally another hint on the remake of Metal Gear Solid on the PS5 which was teased by a creative director. So before jumping into the topics, as you are new, subscribe to the channel and click the notification icon for knowing instant updates, more interesting and informative topics in the daily gaming world. Now let's jump in. Outriders developer People Can Fly has confirmed some important information ahead of the demo's launch on February 25th. This will be the first time the public will be able to play a portion of the game widely, and this demo will remain live on all storefronts well after the game's official launch. Hopefully, the demo will be able to whet players' appetites before Outriders' April 1st release date. Still, there are a ton of questions about the Outriders demo. People Can Fly has addressed a ton of information, such as how it'll work, how it differs from a beta, how classes will work in the Outriders demo, and more. Specifically, however, many may be interested in the launch details of the demo, which has also been confirmed. For those looking for the demo now ahead of time, it should be noted that it cannot be preloaded. Fans cannot download the game until 9 AM PT/11 AM CT on February 25th. With that file size coming in at 22 GB on PS4 and PS5. The file size will likely vary somewhat, but PC and Xbox players can expect it to be in the same ballpark as well. Furthermore, in Outriders, everyone will be able to play together regardless of platform as long as they enable crossplay, which is confirmed to be in the demo. Other details include a level cap of 7, up to World Tier 5 progress, limited amount of resources, transferable characters. This is a demo, not a beta, meaning everything transfers over and progress in the story goes all the way to a boss battle with Gauss, another altered. He's not the end of the demo though, as side missions unlock upon his defeat. Perhaps the most exciting aspect of the demo is it may help players decide which Outriders class they want to play. There's a choice between 4, but there's a total of 6 characters slots, meaning players will be able to try classes, experiment with builds, and all sorts of things in this demo. These classes include the Pyromancer, a mid-range DPS and crowd control-oriented class, the Trickster, the up-close high DPS and time manipulation class, the Devastator, the up-close tank with an affinity for the ground around them, and the Technomancer, the jack-of-all-trades support class that brings some serious firepower still. In a recent interview, People Can Fly said that these classes were inspired by classic video game characters, such as the Technomancer being comparable to a priest in RPGs, but it is not a priest, yet that each character eventually expands into their own thing. As such, players should be experiment with the aforementioned classes during the Outriders demo. They won't be shoehorned in by the brief descriptions above. Outriders releases April 1st on PC, PS4, PS5, Stadia, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. The demo releases February 25th. If you want the detail expansion, you can check out their tweet. I will give the link to their tweet in the description. As we move forward, we have the Elden news as an update to the Elden Ring. Bandai Namco website seems to suggest that the news on the long-awaited will finally be coming soon. From Software has consistently delivered high-quality gaming experiences, and so it's no surprise that there is a great deal of hype for its next project, Elden Ring. Unfortunately, there is still very little that fans actually know about Elden Ring, with From Software remaining mostly quiet about the game since its reveal at Microsoft's E3 2019 press conference. Information on Elden Ring is still hard to come by, but evidence is mounting that a reveal could be taking place sooner rather than later. Gaming Root has discovered that the Bandai Namco Asia website includes a PEGI 16 provisional rating for Elden Ring. And through the use of the Wayback Machine, Gaming Root was able to determine that this rating was recently added to the site. It should be stressed that this is a provisional rating and not an actual PEGI rating, but it can still be taken as a sign that Bandai Namco is gearing up for an Elden Ring reveal of some kind sooner rather than later. By itself, this provisional rating for Elden Ring appearing on the Bandai Namco Asia website would not mean much, but it's worth pointing out that this isn't the first we've heard of Elden Ring news coming soon. In January, industry insider Jeff Grubb teased that Elden Ring news was coming within 60 days or so, suggesting that fans could very well get another glimpse at the game at some point in March or April. The lack of Elden Ring news has frustrated From Software fans, with those on the game's subreddit practically inventing their own lore for the game with all of the speculation that goes on there. They have also taken to things like making silly From Software game tier lists to help pass the time, as it's been almost 2 years since anything substantial was shown in regards to Elden Ring at this point. But between this update to the game's listing on the Bandai Namco website, Grubb's tease, and the fact that Phil Spencer has played Elden Ring, one has to imagine that a reveal is going to happen sooner rather than later. How substantial that reveal will be remains to be seen, but fans should keep their fingers crossed. Maybe they'll get to see Elden Ring's open-field gameplay concept in action, or maybe they'll just be treated to some CG story scenes. Whatever the case may be, it's safe to say Elden Ring fans will take any kind of update at this point.
Imagine it. That which commanded the stars, giving life its fullest brilliance. Elden Ring. Oh, Elden Ring. Shattered by someone or something. Don't tell me you don't see it. Look up at the sky. It burns.
Mortal Shell fans could soon have the chance to play the game on next-gen consoles, as a new PS5 trophy list leak hints at its arrival. Mortal Shell is a short but sweet Souls-like experience, boasting some unique gameplay mechanics, thanks to its shell and seal systems. With Mortal Shell launching at the tail end of the PS4 and Xbox One generation though, many players may have missed out on it, but thankfully, it seems like next-gen owners could have a great reason to try it out. A trophy list for a PlayStation 5 version of Mortal Shell has appeared online, seemingly leaking the port's arrival. While players should take this news with a grain of salt until something official is said by developer Cold Symmetry or publisher Playstack, trophy list leaks are usually accurate. Shown most recently with the next-gen versions of Marvel's Avengers, trophy list arrivals also imply that games are coming sooner rather than later. As such, players can expect an announcement of this next-gen Mortal Shell port sometime in the near future, with a release date likely to be set in the next month or so. Still, with trophy lists sometimes appearing only days before a game appears on the PlayStation Store, Mortal Shell's next-gen release could be happening very soon. With the game launching on Xbox One as well, it can be expected that an Xbox Series X version will also be released. As for the trophy list itself, Mortal Shell players will be completing the same objectives that were seen in the original list. Trophies for killing Hattern in the tutorial and defeating each boss will be awarded to players, as will a trophy for unlocking all the shells the game's complex system for character classes. Beating the game in Obsidian Dark form will award a gold trophy, a fitting reward for the challenging mode that sees players dying after they take a single hit. Miscellaneous trophies like parrying 100 times, picking 50 mushrooms, and seeing the hidden baghead ending are also included. With Mortal Shell being widely regarded as one of the best Souls-like games, now seems like a great time for fans of From Software's work to give it a chance. With only a trophy list to go by, it is unclear if Mortal Shell will be getting any next-gen enhancements or will simply be a re-release of the original game. Either way though, trophy hunters will have the perfect incentive to replay the game or try it for the first time, as Mortal Shell's brief length makes it a solid game for fans that are looking to boost their trophy level on PlayStation. With Mortal Shell receiving a special Rotten Autumn update back in October, it will be interesting if similar content drops come during 2021. With PS5 and Xbox Series X versions likely coming, Cold Symmetry has a great reason to keep supporting its solid attempt at the Soulsborne formula.
Not yet. We're running out of road, kid.
I know.
Nate!
Here, take the wheel.
What? You out of your goddamn mind?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, crap.
Coming through.
And finally we are here again, at another Konami game remake hint. A number of folks have been hoping for quite some time now that Konami will ultimately remake the original Metal Gear Solid entry that was released back in 1998 for the original PlayStation. While no such game has been revealed to be in the works just yet, rumors have been swirling about its creation for a long time. Now, a new tease, if you can even call it that, has some convinced that a Metal Gear Solid remake is indeed coming from one PlayStation studio. Nicolas Doucet, a creative director at PlayStation's Japan studio, changed his profile picture on social media Twitter to resemble Big Boss from the Metal Gear Solid franchise. The image specifically sees Astrobot, the titular character from the PlayStation 5 launch game, donning the gear that Big Boss wears in Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. While Doucet could just be changing his profile image for the heck of it, others think it might tease that Japan Studio is working on a remake of MGS. If you're wondering how this would be possible in the first place given that Japan Studio isn't involved with Konami, well, a recent report has actually said that the publisher is interested in licensing out the Metal Gear property to other studios around the globe. Whether or not Japan Studio would be one of those teams remains to be seen, but the company has actually been involved with remaking projects in the past. In fact, Japan Studio actually assisted Bluepoint Games in its work on the PS5 recreation of Demon's Souls, which just launched last year. As such, the studio has been involved in remakes of the past, making this conjecture not as outlandish as you might think at face value. That being said, it is worth stressing that Doucet specifically works on Team Asobi at Japan Studio, which is a separate group entirely at the company. Team Asobi has primarily worked on Astro's Playroom and Astrobot Rescue Mission over the past few years, and it stands to reason that the team will continue on with that series. So in short, all of this is to say that you shouldn't get carried away just yet. Whether or not Doucet is actually teasing something related to Metal Gear Solid is quite hard to say, but it is fun to think about. Hopefully, if a Metal Gear Solid remake is in development, Japan Studio or another team around the world is currently working on it right now. As hints and rumors getting more in numbers and the anticipation is high as never before for remakes, reboots and sequels of Metal Gear Solid, Silent Hill and Castlevania Lords of Shadow, the gaming community gets bigger and better at this time. And that's all for the video guys. If you are interested in the video, give it a like and share it, and until then from SMPV, it's goodbye.
You good?
Yeah.